See the light of a new day dawning.
Hello, my name is George Essien, Dean, Podium Dynamics Academy, Nigeria's leading public speaking school. Welcome to Public Speaking School. This program and course is designed to help you improve your public speaking, personal and professional life. This program will cover 12 different courses. Some of the courses we'll be covering areas of public speaking are public speaking pros and cons, how to open and close presentation, icebreakers in public speaking, the science of self-confidence, how to overcome glossophobia or what you call stage fright. We'll also cover the 14 must-haves of public speaking, vocal variety and body language, and many other courses that will help you become that speaker that you are supposed to be. I'd like you to watch, listen, and practice.
And I want to talk to you today about how to make money as a motivational speaker in Nigeria. How do you cash in on this industry? There are many speaking industries. There's the emceeing industry, there's the comedy industry, and many other industries where people have to stand up to speak. More recently, we're having spoken word artists doing very fine, poets doing fine, and these industries have been there, but there is usually a commercial aspect to the craft that you are doing or that you're working with. Motivational speaking is one of that, and I will be helping you see that commercial angle of motivational speaking, especially if you are doing this business in Nigeria. Let's start off by saying that asking this whether Nigeria needs motivational speakers. That is actually myopic. To say Nigeria doesn't need motivational speakers
It's like saying that Nigerians don't need teachers. Maybe if we understand who a motivational speaker is, it will help us understand why we need to have motivational speakers in Nigeria. So who is a motivational speaker? A motivational speaker is a person who helps you find reason to take action, to try again. So when a person is able to help you find a motive, find a reason, in spite of the challenges that a person is facing or the person you are facing, he still helps you find a reason to take action and try again. He now qualifies as a motivational speaker. A motivational speaker is a dealer of hope. Where there is hopelessness, where there's no joy, where there's no excitement, what the motivational speaker does is that he keeps dulling and dealing out hope to you to keep you motivated and excited. A motivational speaker also uses stories to tell and pass across valuable truths and messages. He distills truths and lessons from successful people and experiences and helps you understand that. A motivational speaker also inspires and motivates people to be the best they can be. So that's what motivational speaker. So do you need people like this in a country that's going through a recession? As we're doing this recording, this country is going through a recession. Do you need motivational speakers to talk to persons, talk to young people, talk to Nigerians about the hope, about possibilities, about potential, about how that we need to continue, how that Nigeria can be great? I'm sure we truly need to have a motivational speaker and motivational speakers to arise in our country. All right. So a motivational speaker can be a pastor. It could be a trainer, it could be a teacher, it could be a parent, it could be a guardian. You most likely noticed that your guardian at some point served as a motivational speaker. He gave you a reason to try again, to keep going. Your parent inspired you at some point. Teachers in school. I used to have a teacher many years ago, growing up as a kid, who we used to call him Mr. Day. Mr. Day was a motivational teacher. He would get us going. I used to be very shy, but every time I had to be on the platform as a speaker, to do in these debating competitions we had when we were much younger, he would say, keep going, keep going, keep going, and all that. So he was a motivational teacher. He served as a motivational speaker. We have trainers, we also have pastors. Pastors these days do a lot of motivational speaking, where they help you find hope. When you're discouraged, you get to a church, you get to some institution, some church organization, and then you're listening to a message that is very motivational, that's very inspiring. So they serve the body. You see, it's very important that I quickly demarcate and distinguish clearly between who a motivational speaker is
and who a motivational speaking professional is. Now, anybody can be a motivational speaker. Your teacher, like I already mentioned, a pastor, but a motivational speaking professional is one who is paid to speak at an event. When he's invited to speak at an event and he's paid to speak, then he's now a motivational speaking professional. It's like saying that I'm a comedian because you can crack people's rib. You stand up in your family meetings and you talk and people laugh. You're among your friends and you share your jokes and they're laughing and they say, oh, you're good as comedy, you're good as a comedian. That doesn't make you a professional comedian. That doesn't make you like Bovi or Basketmouth or Alibaba or AY. The moment you get paid to crack your jokes, then you're a professional comedian. And for you to move from just doing those jokes with your friends and family to becoming one who is paid and recognized by other comedians and by bodies and organizations, you've got to learn the ropes. You've got to learn a few things you need to understand. Same thing with motivational speaking. Yes, you could be doing motivational speaking as a pastor, as a trainer, as a parent, as a teacher, but when you want to get into the business of motivational speaking, there are a few things, there are ropes, there are rules of engagement you need to understand and master for you to move on. So a motivational speaker is one who does motivational speaking professionally and one who charges for his speaking services. When a speaker goes to speak and he does not charge, he receives what is called an honorarium. That is a gift from the organizers of that event without it's just a gift. It can be anything, all right, and it's just like an honor to the person who's speaking. However, a motivational speaker or motivational speaking professional will charge you a speaking fee. Now let's just do a recap. Let's look at motivational speaking and where it's coming from. Motivational speaking played a very major role in shaping the way America is today. America is more than 200 years old, and the excitement and the energy and the drive of that great country has been as a result of these persons, starting from the likes of Ralph Waldo Emerson, who was an essayist and a writer and a philosopher. He shared a lot of valuable thoughts to help America have direction through his books and his articles. L. Nightingale was another exciting motivational speaker his voice was on radio. He had a lot of recordings that inspired people. To Norman Vincent Peale, that man who put together the book Power of Positive Thinking. I read that book like 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago, and it's really inspirational. Every time I look at it every now and then, I'm really excited about the power of that book. Napoleon Hill, I'll talk about Napoleon Hill in a short while. Napoleon Hill wrote the book Think and Grow Rich. Have you read that book? There's hardly any successful entrepreneur I know, both in Nigeria and abroad, who has not had cause to read the book Think and Grow Rich. Dale Carnegie also put together a masterpiece, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, and the book Public Speaking with Confidence. A great book you also need to read that will help you in public speaking if you desire public speaking. More recently, we've had Americans have this man called Zig Ziglar, and of course Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, amazing guy. You could actually Google up Jim Rohn, jimrohn.com, and acquire his materials. They would help you shape your philosophy about success and about where you're headed. So these were the people who helped shape America and who also influenced us. A lot of us have had cause to read their materials and their books because of what they did for America. A lot of insurance guys, top salespeople, top entrepreneurs can trace their success to reading the materials of these people, going for their seminars and workshops, and that's critical. It's worthy to mention that a certain man called Orison Madden Sweat founded a magazine in 1837. That magazine is called Success Magazine. And of course it had many editions. Even up to today, that magazine is still in existence, and it's been a blessing to people. It's just chronicling and scripting and telling people's stories, people who have succeeded. Amazing book. So he's worthy of mention. He also helped in building the motivational industry as we know it today all over the world. And then we also want to mention about Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was a journalist, and one of those days he went to see
a very successful man by the name Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was an entrepreneur. He was into steel. He was probably one of the richest men in the world. As at that time, he was worth over $600 million. I mean, we're talking about the early 1900s,
He was very wealthy, and the goal of Napoleon Hill was to find out the secret of success. So what Andrew Carnegie did for Napoleon Hill was to mandate him to investigate and research 500 top wealthy people in America at that time, and find out what he considered to be their secrets, the secret of their success. And so Napoleon Hill was mandated. He even Andrew Carnegie went as far as giving him access to these people, notes telling them that, look, he has endorsed this man to put together his findings. Napoleon Hill went out there and put together the book Laws of Success, containing all of the research work he had done on this successful people. He also finally came up with the best-selling book Think and Grow Rich. I recommend that you get that book. Many top entrepreneurs and speakers today make reference to this particular book by Napoleon. In today's times, we have motivational speakers all around the world. I'm sure you've heard of them. I'm sure you've heard of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is an amazing guy, probably the richest motivational speaker in the world, worth more than $500 million. Runs his own university, has a few things going for him very well. You have Brian Tracy. Most likely I've read Brian Tracy's book. Les Brown, that black guy who was he was a twin, was an orphan boy. From rags he became rich, he became successful. He has a story to tell. He was a disc jockey. He wanted to become a disc jockey as a DJ. He became a disc jockey, moved on to become a politician, a member of the House of his country in America. He did well for himself. Patricia Fripp, amazing woman, Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Robert Allen, and Robert Kiyosaki. They all are speakers, top motivational speakers in the world, shaping and helping the Americans to become the best they can be. So let's look at some thoughts about the importance of having a niche and how it will affect your finances as a motivational speaker. Why it's important to have a niche. You can't just say I'm a motivational speaker and you're speaking about everything in general. You want to find a particular niche. So we're going to look at their niche focus now. Tony Robbins focuses on peak performance and a concept he calls neuro-associative conditioning. That is it came out from a concept called neuro-linguistic programming. Tony Robbins was a student of a concept or a philosophy, human engineering concept called neuro-linguistic programming, put together by John Grinder and Richard Bandler in the 1970s, and he learned it. He also was mentored by Jim Rohn, and he was able to put together his own concept, and today he's doing massively with it. Brian Tracy focuses on sales and personal development. I've read his books on sales, and I think that he does a fantastic job when it comes to selling. Les Brown is one of those few motivational speakers who has stayed with general success motivation, so he can tailor his message to fit into your audience or to your staff or to whoever or whichever audience. In 2009, MTN in Nigeria invited him to come do a speech, and he had his way. Patricia Fripp focuses on executive communication, helps executives pitch, help executives do presentations, pitch their proposals in front of panels and so on. She's a fantastic job at that. Jack Canfield is also another guy who stayed around success motivation. Mark Victor Hansen focus on sales. Actually, Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen put together this world's best-selling book by the name Chicken Soup for the Soul. I'm sure you've seen the book. You can actually look up for the book. It sold close to 1 billion copies of it. Chicken Soup for the Soul has different series of it. And so Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, fantastic guys. Robert Allen focuses on finance and multiple streams of income. Of course, Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's put together. He's focused on finance. And Eric Wall, someone you need to meet. For those of you who are in multi-level marketing, who are interested in network marketing, then you need to meet this guy. His name is Eric Wall. Eric Wall is the author of the book Go Pro: How to Become a Professional Networker. It's a book you want to look at. So those are their niches. So let's look at how it affects Nigeria. We have to look at a brief history of motivational speaking in Nigeria. Is it here in Nigeria? How did it start? Who brought it? First of all, we must mention that it began by the teachings of a certain man called David Oyedepo. David Oyedepo is a senior pastor, is a bishop of Living Faith World Outreach, aka Winners Chapel. He began teaching some motivational messages in his church in the late 80s down into the early 90s. All right, and he was greatly influenced. He said so himself by a man called Mike Murdoch. Read his books, and so he would just come. Mike Murdoch is a Christian motivational speaker. So you notice that David Oyedepo began teaching and sharing his ideas back in there. Of course, David Oyedepo was also influenced by a man called Archbishop Benjamin Daoza of blessed memory. So all of this. So it's what it to say that motivational speaking began in Nigeria from the church world. In Oyedepo started that movement, but it was within the confines of the church. The person who took it out of the church was Sam Adeyemi. Sam Adeyemi began a radio broadcast called Success Power, and he helped push motivational speaking beyond the boundaries of the church. Though he tried to break into corporate cycles initially, he returned back to his church work, doing it all there. What that means is that he began this program Success Power for many years, and he would just not mention that he was a pastor. Nobody knew he was a pastor. People thought, in fact, the program was sponsored by an insurance company, and it was exciting. People got excited about it. And Sam Adeyemi was also that pioneer that brought motivational speaking and took it away from the church and brought it down to the secular people. So people from all over the world, from all over Nigeria, could listen and be inspired and want to make the best out of their lives. And it's also important to mention about the Sonny Ojebaze revolution. Now, what he did was that he had started a magazine in 1985 called Success Digest. I don't know whether that magazine is still in existence today, but Success Digest was a fantastic, had ideas of people, had stories of people, startup business, small businesses, internet business, all kinds of business, all of the things, especially the internet. One of the digital marketers you see that are doing top-notch digital marketers today can trace themselves to this magazine called Success Digest. He also started a center called Success Attitude Development Center that helps people to start business, take advantage of the internet, and develop themselves. Hundreds of motivational speakers emerged from there. The Ubong Essien, the Henry Omonogo, the Yabo Yawale, and many others, Akin Alabi, many of them emerged from there, and they're all doing their own thing. Some are still doing speaking, some are moved on to traditional business. So we must also recognize the revolution and the place of Sonny Ojebaze in helping motivational speaking to grow in Nigeria particularly. And of course, we want to also appreciate and know that we'll talk about a man called Ubong Essien. He brought in professionalism into motivational speaking, help people understand that motivational speaking was not just an aside kind of thing or something you do as a pastor or do it occasionally, but there was a professionalism to it. And he began connecting with people in America, because the motivational speaking industry in America is very organized. They have a body called NSA, National Speakers Association, and that speakers also right now they've connected to people in Australia, in Britain, and many other parts of the world. And so for those people who are motivational speakers and who want to be recognized as a motivational speaker by NSA, you get what's called CSP. So you have Brand Tracy CSP, and then Ubong Essien was able to work himself, meet all their requirements, and eventually he became the first certified speaking professional in Nigeria and West Africa, and he took it to the next level. He raised the bar, and so people who are going to the motivational industry now realize that they can also, if they want to step up, if they want to become professionals, then they have to go through that part. So we must also appreciate the fact that Ubong Essien, he began doing Achievers Man, all those magazines. I don't know if you ever saw them. Somewhere in Oshodo, in Surulere, where you go there and see small magazines of stories of different persons, from Bumi Oni to Christopher Kolade to Professor Patrick Tony. He did stories of different men and eventually had access into companies. One of the things that Ubong Essien did was that he eventually got into stayed in the corporate world and left. He lost job because the magazine wasn't consistent anymore. He was doing more of corporate jobs and was not with the everyday people. Today, he's begun School of Eloquence somewhere in Ikeja, and it's a public speaking school that can help people become the speakers they're supposed to be. So, is what I've mentioned. Of course, we cannot fail to mention a man called Fela Durotoye, and he's coming into the scene in the early 2000s, brought in a new generation. What you have mentioned is Steve Harris. his most prominent mentees. He's had many other mentees who submit and respect him. Fela wrote to his style, packaging. He had at some point he had speaking engagements in most of the banks, almost all the new generational banks, and he's spoken in Shell, in top companies, several companies, done books and sold, made his first $1 million, from selling books, selling his materials, done a fantastic job. Then eventually he started out Gemstone, began talking a whole lot about nation building. Fela wrote to his place in helping motivational speaking to find a face. So it became attractive, it became sassy, so that young persons now wanted to do motivational speaking. I wanted to be part of it. Now, interestingly, he would not call himself a motivational speaker. He would rather say he's a transformational speaker. However, it's still basically semantics. It's the same thing we're all talking about. Fantastic guy, and has helped the industry. So in Nigeria, we have top motivational speakers, and I'd like to mention their niche areas. Essien came up from somebody. He worked with somebody for a while, and his focus is on leadership. There are many of them, and I'm sorry, I'm just going to mention a few that you should connect with. Alright, Steve Harris does a lot of HR, does a lot of trainings for organizations. Fela used to do HR, but right now he's focused on nation building. As at the time of this recording, he is the presidential candidate of ANN, and he's taking a bold step to become president of Nigeria. That's a good one. Alright. George Essien focuses on persuasion and peak performance. Ubong Essien focuses on public speaking. Leke Alda focuses on branding. Leke Alda is another very strong person. He claims that he created the curriculum, the program, the branding program. People become more conscious of the concept of branding. Larry Lushola is a life coach. Anytime you hear the word life coach, you can associate it with a man called Larry Lushola, and he talks a lot of neurotherapy and neuro-linguistic programming. Love Idoko, TV presenter, and she does success motivation. John Obidi, digital marketer, and then Bankole Williams, NLP and HR too. These are top speakers in Nigeria, and there are many others. You can Google them up and find out what they are doing. Now, many of these guys will not admit that they're motivational speakers, but that is the category they are classified. You don't do any. They are a motivational speaker. Motivation is from the word motive and actions, finding a reason to do. So they help us find reasons to do in spite of the challenges. We keep trying. So they are classified in this industry called motivational speakers. So let's get into the meat of the matter. How do you begin making money? How do you start making money from motivational speaking? We've done a brief history of motivational speaking. We've looked at the industry. We've seen the difference between who a motivational speaker is and who a professional speaker, who a motivational speaking professional is. Let's look at 3 elements that can help you have a successful business that is comprehensive, maximizes your income to the highest level. Let's look at a few ideas. Number 1, you need to have what is called your killer keynote speech. Now, I'm not want to use the negative sounding words, but killer keynote is an industry lingo for a really fabulous presentation that you get paid to deliver. This is the speech that you will develop, practice, and get paid to deliver over and over again. This speech is your product and will be what your audience and meeting planners fall in love with. For me, I have this killer keynote speech called corporate culture and target actualization. I've done it in all the organizations I have had cause to speak with. I do it. I can customize it to meet any organization. I've done it again and again around the world. And I also have something for startups I call ideation, how to create something out of nothing. So you need to also develop killer keynote speech so that people can, and those should be strong and punchy. People can invite you because of that. You need to have strong, maybe yours is something on purpose or relationship. A killer keynote speech is vital. Number 2, you need to think of your back end. Now, speaking is only the beginning of the relationship you will have with the audience. When audiences see you on stage and then read your book, they are going to want more of you. Here's where you can multiply your profit exponentially and impact people long after they see you on stage. So you need to have back end. You need to start producing videos, audio materials, manuals, books, everything, everything you can put together to sell. When I go for seminars to speak and I'm done speaking, I go back to my back end. My back end has materials and it's all gone. People want to have that experience of you beyond just the speaking relationship you have with them. So speaking is only the beginning of the relationship you can sell. So think of the back end. Now, it's also very important that you brand and you position yourself as a speaker. You have to start thinking in terms of branding. Most people think, or most people mistakenly believe, your speaking fee is earned on the stage. No, it's not. Your fee is actually determined long before you hit the stage with your marketing, your message, and how you communicate who you are and the value you bring. Remember, when you're on social media, this is very vital. This is very critical. You want to be a motivational speaker and your social media handle does not reflect that brand. Be very careful. Remember, when you're on social media, you're marketing yourself as a speaker. In fact, that's one of the ways meeting planners find speakers. Show up as a professional with your life. All right, your website, your marketing materials, your videos, your blogs, and more will be how a meeting planner determines if you are good or if you could pass for by, or if they could just pass you by. So it's very important and critical that you think in terms of branding and positioning. So when we talk about branding, we're looking at your personality. What emotional experience will they have when they get to meet with you? Or, what is your own experience yourself? What's your voice? It talks about your brand, talking about your voice, your attitude, your style. Also intangibles, looking at feelings, aspirations, associations, unified broad product line, commodity market, and all that. So, and you think about brand, when you do that, it has a 5 years lifespan. Positioning is also fantastic too. It gives you when we talk about position, we're looking at value proposition, competitive differentiation, what separates you from others, why buy me, why engage me, category bias, segmentation, tangibles, problem solve, secret sauce, proof point, engage sales cycles, influence category, and of course it has a lifespan of 12 to 18 months. So to grow any business, including your speaking business, you must effectively brand it. What is your color? Think in terms of your color, think in terms of your logo, think in terms of your tagline, your motto. Choose a memorable and simple name. Memorable and simple name. Some people want to have very long names. That will not fly. Use short and simple, memorable names in branding. George Essien, very simple. You don't want to use a tongue-twisting long name. All right. If your name is, some companies like Yahoo actually is yet another hierarchical officials oracle. That's the full meaning of Yahoo. However, they had to compress it into initials. Yahoo, MTN, NTA. Because whenever you have a very long name, it's good to use the initials, brand initials, than use the long twisting names. All right. So some things I've done for myself, as in the packaging and promoting myself, is I began exploring the idea of putting up a billboard
in the community. The idea was to, usually when you look at the billboard, you see a pastor, you see some politician during the political era or election era time, but I began putting up billboards promoting my brand and also promoting things I do, through billboards. It was expensive, but it was worth it. People began to have this understanding, of what I was doing. So that's the brand of mine. My tagline is everything inspirational. So that's one of the things you need to learn to do. In fact, most importantly, it's important that you master public speaking. That's because your stock in trade is public speaking. Your ability to speak, to stand on your feet and think. You cannot be suffering from glossophobia, stage fright, any form of fear, and think you turn out to become a good motivational speaker or even earn from motivational speaking. People want you to be at your very best. So master public speaking. There are public speaking organizations, schools around. Toastmasters is one of them. Look out for Toastmasters anywhere around you, wherever you are. If you're in Lagos, you can look out for School of Eloquence. There's a location for it. If you're in Uyo, Calabar, Port Harcourt, Abuja, look out for Podium Dynamics Academy. What we're offering right now for people who don't have the opportunity to meet me one-on-one is videos. We have videos to put together, 18 different videos that cover almost every area of public speaking. Almost every area of public speaking. And what you simply do is just call the number 081-87133, or better still, send the words
Podium Dynamics. Podium Dynamics. PODIUM DYNAMICS to the number 08187133153, and then response will be given to you. We make to when you make some payment, it will cost you something. A link will be sent to you that you can download, so you can download 18 different courses, videos that will help you master this very art of public speaking. We cover concepts like vocal variety and body language, icebreakers in public speaking, how to effectively open a presentation, different kinds of closes and how to close, how to prepare a speech, speech writing. We look at again at the business of public speaking. We look at the science of self-confidence. We look at the must-haves of public speaking. We look at pros and cons of public speaking. We look at how to interest any audience and various areas of public speaking that will help you become that speaker you want to be. So to make money as a motivational speaker, you have to fine-tune and master public speaking. This is very critical. All right. Number two, it's very important you understand that every craft has a spiritual dimension. How successful you turn out to be depends on your connection with your spiritual source. Every talent, every gifting has the artistic and technical dimension. I already mentioned about mastering public speaking. For a public speaker, the artistic, you don't just want to be confident as a speaker. You want to be charismatic. There has to be swag and style in your presentation, and that's what we talk about. That's what we talk about. Artistic. You've got to be artistic in your presentation, and there's a artistic dimension to speaking. There's also the administrative and management dimension to your craft. You, at a certain point, in fact, when you begin doing business as a speaker, you don't manage your calls. At some point, you don't manage your calls unless you really have to do it, unless you understand the managerial dimension of speaking. And in managing your calls, you want to be able to be administrative in your approach so that you can get gigs, you can get engagement. So you notice that some musicians, some talented people they have managers. They don't do their things themselves. They get these people to help them out. So there's the administrative and managerial dimension of public speaking that we need to pay attention. There's also the technological dimension of public speaking. A few things you would do, tools, technological tools that you bring into your craft that will accentuate, that will make bigger and louder whatever it is you're doing. So there's a technological dimension to public speaking. You need to use YouTube. You need to use Instagram. Okay, you need to understand the studio. You need to go and start doing stuff on the studio. All of those things are tools. You need to understand how to use the pointer on the presenter, how to put together compelling slides. Those are the technological dimensions of public speaking and motivational speaking that will help you. And of course, we have the business dimension. And when we talk about the business dimension, we're looking at three important areas: branding, looking out for those things that separate you from others. You have to find out what is my niche area. What am I talking about? Am I supposed to talk about business? And if business is broad, is it for startup? Is it for the corporate? Is it for bankers? Am I supposed to talk about relationship? Relationship is even still broad. Is it HR? Is it intimate relationship? Is it sexual relationship? Is it family relationship? You want to be able to brand yourself. Am I speaking on leadership? Am I speaking on multi-level marketing? Am I speaking on sales? You have to find your niche, and also want to find out those colors, those slogans, those logos, those things that separate you from others, and that's what brand is all about. Then of course you want to begin to package yourself. People will pay more for packaging than from the way it is. So packaging includes getting together a website, putting together all the necessary resources that will help you have that larger than life perception amongst people. And then of course promotion. If you do not promote your brand, if you don't go out there looking out for gigs, looking out for engagement, you will not have them come your way. All right, so for me, when I started off as a motivational speaker, I began doing a lot of free gigs, a lot of free and basically going for events and attending seminars and speaking at seminars for free. I still do that even till today. Was for my promotion. People get to know how good you are, and you also promote yourself greatly. So doing that for a starter, don't want to earn money, find a way to do as many free presentations as possible. The most important thing for you is to get known. and that's critical. Like I already mentioned, I find your niche. For me, I'm general motivation, but I have developed expertise in public speaking trainings and persuasion technology. That is my niche. Because of being a master in that area, I've received calls to do many presentations in that regard. So find your niche. Your niche is the things you love to do, plus the things you're good at, and the things that someone is willing to pay you. Where they synchronize is your niche. So find out what is that you love to do, find out what you are good at, and find out what someone is willing to pay you for. Those three form your perfect niche. Sit down today and do an analysis of those things that you love, and those things that you're good at, and those things that are willing to pay for you. Then the ones that are similar, all right, now makes up your niche, actually in the area of speaking. So in finding a niche, what you can do for yourself is you can try it loft. When I say I was speaking, I speak about business, I'll speak about relationship, I'll speak about enterprise, I'll speak about health. I did many things. I just spoke about many things. I also studied the market, and I followed the trend in the market. I also followed my passion. But eventually I started noticing that in one area that when I talked about public speaking, people always wanted me to come share my thoughts with them. People also wanted to learn how to speak by listening to me. And so I made myself, I said focus on public speaking. I realized that public speaking was actually fantastic, but I wanted it to be more I wanted it a little more complex. So I zeroed down on persuasion. And persuasion is actually very broad. It covers economics, covers relationship. So I could tailor this teaching on persuasion in business, in sales, in leadership. So I follow, and I've over time become an expert in these areas. And then of course you have to advertise. Again, promotion. You got to advertise that expertise that you have. Now, one thing you know about motivational speakers is that they are good storytellers. All right, so learn to tell a good story. Tell your story well. All right, the best motivational speakers are storytellers. What has life taught you? Your life has a story people want to hear. Use that as your philosophy. Share it. Build a message around it. When people hear you, let them hear you tell your story. Weave your story into your presentation. Jim Rohn, of blessed memory, will do that a whole lot. Just Google up Jim Rohn or find out how you can download some of his videos, and you really enjoy him. Powerful stories. Brian Tracy does that a lot. Les Brown does that a lot. Uses his story to teach very powerful lessons. That's one way you need to learn. And now about speaking is good, but you need to have yourself a business. Alright, so in 2007 I started an inspirational training, media and publishing outfit called Learn and Earn Ventures. And I also began social enterprise, Power Minds Community, focused on capacity building, but for free. Learn and Earn Ventures was involved in training, it was involved in media, it was involved in publishing, but of course people had to pay for those services. Then Power Minds was the other version that was for free when we had costs to do stuff. And more recently we put together Blue Sky Development Foundation. And Blue Sky Development Foundation actually is a foundation where we give back once a year. We just give back to the society and the street. So that gets you really engaged. People get to see these things you're doing, and they patronize you if you're running a business, and they work with you if you're an NGO. That also gets them to know how credible you are. So start a business. Go register a business. It's not as expensive as you think. I hear right now you can go online and then register a business in Nigeria. In less than 3 days you're good to go. All right, another way to make money as a motivational speaker, as I starting a business, is to author a book. Yes, very, very critical. Being an author gives you instant authority. So write an inspirational book or a how-to book and promote it. I have two friends here who I respect so much, and they are fantastic speakers as well as authors. They write so well. Emeka Nobis lives in Port Harcourt, and he does speaking engagement around Nigeria. He's particular about helping you grow many things. But this book is a classic, his recent book, Grow Your Platform. And it's a book you probably need to get. But he's got when he goes from place to place, he sells that book. And then also I met Kelechi Anyalechi, very recently. I've been following him up. He's a fantastic guy and a friend, and he has his book Goals. He wants to become an expert in that area. So wherever he goes to, he promotes his book Goals. He also runs a foundation he calls Revamp, and he goes from secondary schools to secondary schools, and the job is just to distribute books. So he has partners who fund for the books he produces and giving for free. He does training. He has volunteers all over Nigeria doing a fantastic job for himself. So that's how motivational speakers make money, from selling their books or from getting people to fund production of books. If I did that at some point, some high-powered people began giving him resources to publish his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective Students. He sold millions of copies of that book around Nigeria to students, and people bought it at 2005. He made almost more than $1 million selling that book. He's still selling the book even up to today. So speakers are expected to be authors, but not just any book will do. You've got to have a memorable type to content that people will want to read, and information that is unlike other books in the market. Of course, it helps if your book is a bestseller on Amazon or other lists. Yeah, I also have this book titled Speech Power. I sold hundreds, thousands of it, wherever I go to. Probably my best-selling book ever. I sell it at 5,000, and people buy it in their number. Amazing book that I put together. All right, now, how do you position yourself to get paid, to get seen? Get interviewed regularly on TV or radio, or host a television or radio program. Now, for more than 10 years, I ran an inspirational program on local television, because where I was staying, and I found a way to be on the media, and I did this for 10 years on TV, and I had a stint on radio. The idea was to put my voice so people could hear my voice regularly, and to also get to see my face. It helped me gain some level of popularity, and it also helped me to do seminars, because I'll do seminars and post. So that guy has something to say. Listen to him on television, or watch him on television, I'll listen to him on radio, and it helped me so much. So get on TV. When you get on TV, it gives you that level of authority. Satellite TV or radio gives some level of authority. Find a way, even as a guest artist, to be on TV, and it'll make sense to you. Also, you can also write in newspaper, local tabloid or national daily. If you work hard at it, you can get one of these national dailies to have you. That gives you instant authority. Whenever you're doing your pitching for jobs, you can just bring out the newspapers you've written, or have copies of it, and it will go well for you. Now, you can sell online products. There are many things you can sell online products. This will help you. Online product, I mean ebooks. For many years I didn't have ideas. I have a book called Ideas. I didn't have it as a traditional book. I had it as an ebook, and I sold hundreds of it online. Alright, hundreds of it online. So sell online products, ebooks, audio materials. You can video materials. You can sell them online without necessarily having a physical copy of it. You can sell online products. One of the things you want to do, which is vital for a speaker, is you need to network. You need to network. Go for association meetings. Go for conferences, workshops. You have to network, meet people, and just meet people. I've had cause even travel out of the country to meet with people for this motivational speaking, and it has made me travel around the world, and I've earned quite some sum from it. So meeting people is vital. Networking is key to your success as a motivational speaker, especially in Nigeria. Don't be afraid to collaborate. Leverage on people who have already done the business. Look out for people. You can network with me, okay? Because we're trying to build an industry here. We're trying to help Nigeria. My goal is to raise a generation that will influence and help shape and change Nigeria. And we can do this by connecting. We have many influencers gather who form a critical mass that eventually institutes and instigates that change that we're looking for, that new Nigeria we're praying for. So they talk with people, and you get speaking opportunities. Some you just need to be a mentor. When you talk about networking, we're looking at for mentorship relationships, looking at for mentors, people that can mentor you. One of the fastest way to succeed in this business is to look out for someone who is willing to mentor you. And when you're going to meet this mentor, don't just ask for what you want. I want platform. People call me and they say, I want platform. What platform do you want? come and offer, volunteer, serve. The mentor will eventually give you a platform. It's important. Also, when we talk about networking, think of collaboration, network, and you succeed eventually. So let's look at marketing. You need to succeed as a professional speaker. What are the marketing tools that I have and you need to have to succeed in Nigeria as a motivational speaker or anywhere in the world? Of course, you need to have a website. When people call me and tell me, George, I want to have a website. I want to be a motivational speaker. I said, do you have a website? They said they don't have. I was like, wow, how do you want to make money? I always be grateful to Dennis Isong and Emeka Obia. Dennis Isong used to design sites. Right now he doesn't design sites. He runs an online business now. He listened to me speak one of those and he said to me, George, you do well as a speaker. Do you have a website? I said, I don't have a website. He said, you literally quadruple whatever achievement, whatever success you have if you have a website. And thank God I listened to him, got a website up, and I started getting big jobs from top organizations around Nigeria. Not because in less than 6 months from putting up a website, I had some jobs, from top organizations, and they paid me to do stuff as much as 500,000, 350,000, and all of that. So a website will give you instant authority. It will help you people know that you're serious about what you're doing, and it's you taking your business to that very professional level. So look at the sites I've mentioned here on the video you're watching: jimron.com, robbins.com, Tony Robbins. The idea is to actually look at what they are doing and see how you can imitate. There's nothing wrong about learning. brandtracy.com, Patricia Fripp, fantasticlady.com, larrylushula.com, Bankole Williams, Nigerians, Nigerians.com, feladrotary.net, I am steveharris.com, me@adesanya.com, lekealda.com. You can check them out, and having a website is very important. Alright, you need to have what's called a speaker video, a small short video that tells people about exactly what you do in less than a minute. I'm going to play this video.
You're one idea, one piece of information, one major action away from your next level of success. My name is George Essien, life coach, motivational speaker, and peak performance consultant. In the last 12 years, I've worked with small organizations, and top and big organizations reach their highest level of priority and success, and I can help achieve it. The difference between the best and the rest is what the best knows and the rest do not know. The difference between the millionaire and the mediocre is what the millionaire knows to do that the mediocre does not know to do. All you simply have to do is expose yourself to quality information, quality action steps, and you become all that you desire to be. For your conferences, trainings, events, summits, engage my service today, and I can help you achieve those top priorities you want to achieve both personally and professionally. Call the number 081-87-133-153 or visit www.georgeacn.com, and I'll be glad to do business with you.
There is something called a speech description and title that you probably need to have. When you describe your speech and create a title, it will sound so exciting. Anyone interested in your topic won't be able to stay away from it. So look out for creative, crazy titles that you can put together. Like I have some titles like fundraising strategies, corporate culture and target actualization, personal goal setting actualization workshop, ideation, how to create something out of nothing. So look out for catchy, interesting titles that people will be interested in to invite you for. Also, speaker photo, very, very important. For most of us online, it's our headshot that is our first impression, okay? But as a speaker, do you know that you need more than one photo? That's because photos are big parts, a very big part of proof that you are good and that you are representing your brand at its finest. So you need to take a lot of photos. I'm going to show you a guy right now. It's Prince Will. Prince Will helps me with photos, helps me with videos, and I usually want him to be around me, take me around when I go for events. We've had costs to travel,
and he takes shots because I want to keep this moment. It's very major. It's a deliberate part of a speaker. When you snap the shots, you upload them on Facebook and Twitter. You upload them, very important, on Instagram. You put them on WhatsApp. You keep uploading so that you can create the perception of you being someone who is who's professional, who's doing these things seriously. And you get some of the pictures that Prince taking for me. We did with DHL and a few other places. You see those pictures there. Very important. Take pictures and upload them. If you can do videos, fantastic. If you can't do videos, no problem. But it's very important that you take pictures of events, people that you met, work that you have done, you holding the mic, showing you doing your craft. This is key. Now, it's also very important you have a speaker business card. Sometimes all you have is that tiny bit of real estate to make a lasting impression. Use it well and it can lead to future business. So your business card should be wow. Now, I received a business card from Love Idoko in Owerri a few weeks ago, and it was wow. I've received a card, a complimentary card or business card or call card from a motivational speaker in Abuja, and it was wow. Make sure that your card is wow. I don't give the card at all, give your website. Usually when I'm not going with my card and my card is not fitting enough, I give my website, georgeessien.com. But if you're to give a card, make sure it's what it can just be the key to the next level. Make sure that your card spells out exactly what you do and what areas that you focus on, especially let it highlight your niche area, and then also go to your website, have a website there. It's important you have a website that will help you. All right, and then of course you have to have a speak. Before you climb on the podium, there needs to be a scripted speaker's intro. Before you get on stage, someone will be introducing you to the audience. You'll be asked to provide a written intro for an MC or someone else to read. These two should get the audience fired up and excited to hear you and your speech. In neuro-linguistic programming, we call it pre-framing. You've got to write out something very engaging so that when they read it and they expect to know who is the speaker. It's called the speaker's intro. Write your speaker's intro. That is very similar to a speak bio. Now, I have a speaker bio. If you go to my website, you see the speaker bio. There are multiple occasions where you need a biography page, right? Your job is to create a bio that will be noticed and make you memorable. All right. When get speaking engaged in Nigeria, I'm just going to mention a few and we'll be out of here. Churches and fellowships. Oh, churches is still the biggest. Churches are still the biggest market. You have fellowship. So look out for churches, your church, people's churches. You can get a lot of speaking gigs from churches. NGOs are also fantastic. They are looking for, well, of course, NGOs don't have money to pay you, but of course, if you go there and you do a good job, they will give you some honorarium. Churches could give you honorarium too. Now, write letters to small business owners and offer your service at first for free. If you solve their problems, if you help them provide solution, they will invite you and they will pay you. Maybe not as much as the top organizations would, but they will pay you something. You can carve a niche for yourself. Go to small business owners and solve problems. I know a guy who solves accounting issues. He teaches this particular software and that can solve accounting issues for small business owners, and he's making quite some money from it. We have some guys who are doing marketing trainings for small business owners, making money from it. Social media engagement for small business owners. I know a guy who does social media engagement for social media for startups, and he's doing a fantastic job. So look out for an area and then solve a problem, and then you'll be surprised how much money you earn. You can also put together your own seminars. There's an audio we have on how to put together a seminar to help you. You can also order for it, how to put together your own seminar. That will also help you to earn and to be at the face of people. That's a church I had a few years ago. That's a seminar I put together a few years ago. That's an NGO. This is this NGO that invited me to speak at an event. I like to conclude this video that everything we do is to make contributions to life, and that your life is not just about your duration but about your donation. Words of Ralph Waldo Emerson touch my heart, and I hope it touches your heart. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to leave the world a better place, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Thank you for watching this video, and God bless you.
All right.